What's up, guys? So I wanted to chime in on here. I've cut a video already on YouTube that came out Monday. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Where I got into a lot of stuff about this Raja Jackson Psycho Stew thing. Um, so a quick recap uh, with what my opinions came out of that video is the promotion has got needs to be held accountable. The I already forgot the other guy's name, but the guy you see in the video in the cowboy hat, accountable. They need to be held accountable as well as Raja Jackson. They were all in the wrong. The situation never should have been able to get started because he should have never been in that area. Um, so the big thing with me is I've been to a lot of shows. I've got to know a lot of wrestlers in these indie shows, and I've spoke to promoters, got to know some promoters. And one thing, especially the old school guys who I fall in line with a lot, a big thing is the locker room slash backstage area is not for fans. Even if you're a fan of somebody, or even if you're a fan that has a famous father, you should not be back there. Just because you have a bunch of people watching you on your kick streams doesn't mean you should be back there hanging with the wrestlers. That's their time before the show. If they're out around the ringside and in those areas after the show, it's a totally different thing. Back there, that is their element. They're supposed to be getting into character or whatever. Shouldn't have been back there to begin with. So that would have been dealt with. Should have never been back there. None of this would have happened. But what I really want to address tonight um, is some of the comments by some major professional wrestlers I've seen. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, Raja Jackson is going to be in a lot of trouble. LAPD involved, and we've got some rough stuff. I watched the video of the guy who pulled him off, and he still fought that guy off and ended up punching dude in the face. Um, yeah, this he didn't have kind words to say about Raja, which I don't blame him. But what I'm really looking at is RVD has said that. Now I don't know if he's doing clickbait or what, but from what I understand, I didn't have time. I got off work and jumped right on, but I didn't have time to look this up. But from what I understand, RVD said he sides with Raja Jackson. Now RVD really likes the Zaza. I gotta remember what words I can say on here. So who knows what he's thinking? Don't take that out of context. But so there's that. Regardless if it's clickbait or not, all fairness, I used clickbait on my YouTube video. The algorithm doesn't put me out there, so I used clickbait absolutely. But I believe it was a TMZ interview with Mark Henry, who actually blamed Psycho Stu. Now the comments Mark Henry made were not accurate from what I've seen, because he said Psycho Stu hit Raja with a bottle. First off, that's not the case. That was a can. It's plain to see it was a can. I'm on the side of the fence that believes that was a gimmicked can. Um, we're not going to get into explaining what that means. It just means it's easier to crush than a normal can. If you've never crushed a can on your head, it doesn't feel good. Now, he braced Raja's head and smashed it. And I do not say he's not a tough guy. Plenty of tough guys will smash that. And in front of their friends may not say it, but as soon as they go to the bathroom, God, oh, that hurt like a son of a bitch. It doesn't feel good. I've done it, okay? I don't want to do it no more. I'm no longer that young and that stupid. Now when the beer cans are empty, I throw them away. Let's save the tabs up. Story for another time. He didn't act like he just got smashed with a beer can. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So, now the whole thing happened, and then I can't see anywhere where Psycho Stew's fault, and this is why. Because the next video comes out, you get to see Psycho Stew apologize. They shake hands. Everything is cool. All right. Then the next video comes through. We see, I can't remember that guy's name, but the dude in the cowboy hat. He's already had to set stuff to private and everything because he's getting blown up. He's telling him to get that receipt when you go to the ring, which basically he's telling him when you go to do this spot that we now have planned and have probably put like 30 minutes into planning it, if that. Go out there and actually hit him. Don't make it work. He's telling him to get his receipt. Actually go out there and pummel the guy. Now, I will say this. He didn't say go out there and hit him 22 goddamn times. So, now we fast forward to another video that's come out. This is part of Raja's stream, evidently. And you see him sitting in the audience before this is about to happen, saying, I'm going off script, I'm going to fuck him up. Basically saying, I'm fixing to commit a crime, is what I'm about to do. Because that's what he did. And then we see what happens. Now we've seen the guy that's, we've had words from the guy that actually was at the hospital with Stu. And we've seen close-up video when they pinned him. So we pulled the show must go on thing in a little bitty, in an indie promotion, pulled the show must go on BS call, and had Stu still get pinned. When you see the close-up, he's literally choking. And according to the close friend or whoever it is that was there with him at the hospital, he was literally choking on his own blood and teeth when they're trying to pin him. Because he's still laying flat on his damn back. So, you see in the video that the referee just stood over to the side. Now, my assumption on that is that the referee was afraid because this guy is a for real trained ass whooper and evidently can throw some good punches at somebody that can't defend themselves. So kudos to you. But he's like, I'm not trained to deal with this kind of guy. So he didn't do anything. It took the wrestlers coming to get involved, who then still put themselves in harm's way and got shots taken at them. It's a bad situation. So I was talking to the Chase Collector texting earlier. If you don't know, that is the other founding member of Gladiator Wrestling Podcast. We've added an infamous third man, if you didn't already know that. But I was texting back and forth with the Chase Collector, and I said, man, the more and more shit that keeps coming out, this gets deeper and deeper. This may have a bigger effect on the wrestling world that we know and love than we originally anticipated. So at this point, WWE seems to have cut all ties with said promotion and said owner, who is Rikishi. They're no longer part of the WWE ID program. So if you're part of that promotion, if you're actually signed to it, you're no longer eligible for WWE ID, from what I understand. This is getting really crazy. I'm waiting to see. It's going to be interesting to see if any criminal charges come about. Then we've got the lawsuits, the possible lawsuits. It's insane. If you want to see the first video I did, I really, I'm still long-winded, not quite as long-winded as that video, but check that one out over on YouTube, and then let me know. drop a comment and let's talk about this. Also tune into the podcast because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information by then this Sunday, and we're going to definitely get into it. So, anyways, it's time for me to get off here. Gladiator out. It's just crazy.